Hello, my friends. Good evening. This is Tausif, starting a new live stream. And the time right now is 10 p.m., exactly 10 p.m. Central Time. And this is October the 8th of 2025. My friends, while we talk about Chicago and Portland, we must not forget Seattle. As I had said previously, soon we should be talking about Seattle. Let's start that right now. Let's start talking about Seattle. And that's why I'm here. My friends, before I continue with the discussion, I just want you to know that there is a question in the live chat. It's a poll question that I've asked, and I hope that you will respond to the question. And the question is, should President Trump deploy National Guard troops in Seattle, Washington? Simple question, nothing much to think about. If you already know the issues, then it's an easy answer for you, yes or no. In case you're wondering why I'm asking that question, please stay here with me because I'm going to explain to you what exactly is going on in Seattle that has prompted me to ask that question. Should President Trump deploy National Guard troops in Seattle, Washington? But before I go deep into the discussion, I want to welcome my friends who are already participating in the live chat window. Frank, wonderful to see you. Thank you for being here. Kay Cooper is here. Kay, so good to see you. That's our friend Kay from Texas. And we also have Teresa. Teresa, so great to see you. Teresa, wonderful. It's been a while since I've seen Teresa's name pop up, but that's also because I have not been doing live streams regularly. So now I'm back. For the last few days, I've been doing live streams on a pretty regular schedule. Of course, the time varies. Sometimes I start after midnight, but Teresa, so wonderful to see you. So we got Frank, Kay, Teresa, and I know that others will be tuning in as well. All right, my friends. Seattle. Okay, what comes to mind when you hear the word Seattle, when you hear the name of this city, Seattle? If somebody mentions to you Seattle, please tell me what comes to your mind. Do you think of the beautiful view from the Pacific Northwest? Do you think of the beautiful scenes of the Pacific Northwest? Teresa thinks of rain. That's correct. It rains a lot in Seattle. But you know, a lot of people enjoy rain, not everyone. So if you enjoy rain, you might think of rain. Oh, Seattle, how beautiful, beautiful rain. There's no doubt about that. Beautiful rain in Seattle. And also, a lot of people think of coffee, right? Seattle is so famous for coffee. Coffee shops. Am I right? So it could be a rainy day, cloudy day, gloomy day. You're sitting close to the water, maybe a waterfront cafe or something. You're enjoying the rain. You've got a cup of coffee and you're sipping on coffee. You're just enjoying, maybe reading a book, a nice book. Maybe you're reading my poetry book. Who knows? For those who don't know, I have published 2 books of poetry. So maybe you're sitting in Seattle at a waterfront coffee shop. It's raining, it's cloudy. You're enjoying the views and you're reading Tausif Anam's book. That's a beautiful day, I think. Right? There are beautiful things that people think of when they hear the word Seattle. But now, my friends, let's step away from what I just said, and let's talk about the reality on the ground. A reality that I have not mentioned yet in this live stream, a reality that we must all recognize, a reality that many people are aware of. But it needs to be mentioned explicitly. I need to talk about it in clear language, in clear terms, because that reality affects the lives of hardworking people in Seattle. In reality, my friends, Seattle is plagued with problems. Plagued with problems. It is a city that is being crushed by the massive burden of crimes and unrest. Are you shocked? Are you hearing this for the first time? Are you wondering, hey, what is Tassif talking about? Seattle. When we think of Seattle, we think of coffee, we think of rain, we think of the beautiful views, the lake, the waterfront properties. We think of just a beautiful day in Seattle. We think of a relaxing time, but Tassif is talking about crimes and unrest. What in the world is going on, my friends? I'm going to share some data with you. I'm not just sitting here with talking points, okay? If you think I'm just here, I got talking points, and that's all you're going to hear, no. I'm going to share with you the facts and the figures and the data, which you can verify, which you go and fact check. You can do that. AC Cruz, so good to see you. So good to see you. That's our friend AC Cruz. By the way, if you're here for the first time, make sure that you're subscribing and also like and share. That would be much appreciated. Thank you, my friends. Wonderful to see so many friends here. We got Frank, we got Kay Cooper, we got AC Cruz, we got Teresa Ross, and there are others who are coming in. We're gonna be waiting for new friends as well. Okay, so Bob is saying waiting for these facts. Well, Bob, I got good news for you. The wait is over, Bob. The wait is over. I'm going to share with you the facts and the figures. And after I do that, you're going to be saying, oh my God, there are so many problems in Seattle. We need to fix it. That's exactly right. Hold on a second here. People are truly sleepless in this city that we call Seattle. Seattle, Washington. Seattle has really high crime. Seattle's homicide rate was above the national average last year. Homicide rate. That is scary. Who wants to be in a city that has really high homicide rate, higher than the national average? There are so many places in the country. Why would you want to be in a city with high homicide rate? Why in the world? I saw a report. Get ready for this. You're going to be shocked. And if you're someone who's thinking about moving to Seattle, maybe you're packing your bags right now. Maybe right as I speak. Maybe you're listening to me on your phone or on your laptop. You got the video on, you're listening to me, and maybe you're packing the boxes. You're getting ready to move. You got your moving truck outside. You're going to load the boxes and move to Seattle, start a new life. Hold on a second. Don't do that just yet. It's not a good idea if you want to move to Seattle. In fact, people in Seattle are looking for a way out. They don't want to be in a city with high homicide rate. They don't want to be in a city that's so unsafe. Why would you want to move there? I'm going to share with you data. Get ready for this. I saw a report that Seattle ranked 4th out of the 30 largest American cities for total crime in 2024. 4th out of the 30 largest American cities for total crime in 2024. That's a lot of crime. If you're looking at the 30 largest American cities and you're looking at total crime data, and if Seattle ranks 4th, 1, 2, 3, 4, number 4, that's a lot of crime. Why in the world would anyone want to live there? Tommy Brown, good to see you. We got Tommy Brown here. Tommy Brown, so wonderful to see you. We are reconnecting with old friends, and that's always awesome. You know, the last few months I have not been able to do live streams regularly. So many of our friends, you know, they were probably wondering, like, where is Toss if he isn't doing live streams? But I'm back, my friends. I do the best I can. So here I am. Tommy Brown, good to see you. Edwin is here. Hi, Edwin. Thanks for being here. By the way, join this community, subscribe, and make sure you're commenting in the live chat window. And then hopefully I'll get to know you. And I try to recognize the friends who tune in. When their names pop up, I recognize them. It's always wonderful to see who's tuning in. So, my friends, reportedly, the total crime rate per 100,000 residents was 5,782.7. That is not good. I'm talking about Seattle. The total crime rate per 100,000 residents was 5,782.7. So that's 5,782.7. That's the data for Seattle. Total crime rate per 100,000 residents. So if you were packing your boxes and packing your suitcases and getting ready to load everything onto a moving truck and drive out west to Seattle, maybe you're planning to buy a house in Seattle, maybe you got a condo, maybe you're renting an apartment in Seattle, you want to move there, not a good idea. Not a good idea. There are so many other places in the country where you could be living a very comfortable life, raise a family, find a nice neighborhood, safe community, nice restaurants, good police department, good mayor, good city council. There are so many places in the United States where you're going to have the opportunity to live a healthy life. But Seattle, not the case. Not the case for Seattle, Washington. All right? You want to drink coffee? You think Seattle has the best coffee? Well, there are so many other places where you're going to find amazing coffee. Forget Seattle for now. But you know what? There's hope. There is hope. Maybe there's a solution. Maybe crime in Seattle can be reduced. Maybe criminal activity in Seattle can be eliminated. Maybe. It's possible. That's what I'm going to talk about. So do not go anywhere, my friends. Do not go anywhere. I'm just getting started. There's a lot more to discuss. Joshua is saying, ice, ice, baby. That's awesome, Joshua. That's awesome. We're going to be talking about ice. We're going to be talking about ice. I love ice. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Let me continue. So the study that I mentioned let me just say that according to that study, Portland, Oregon was found to have the second worst city ranking for total crime. So Seattle, I mentioned, was number 4, which is pretty bad, but Portland, even worse, number 2. Total crime in Portland per 100,000 residents was found to be 6,246.4. That's second worst. I'm talking about Portland, Oregon. West Coast, still. The worst in the list for 2024 was Memphis, Tennessee. Now, Tennessee is a state that I absolutely love. Okay, if you ask me, Tassif, there's so many states. What are some of your favorite states? Well, I have not been to all 50 states. I'll be honest about that. I wish I could have gone to all 50 states. Then it would be, I would be in a much better position to make that determination. But I can tell you, keeping Wisconsin aside, because Wisconsin is my favorite. I love it. This is my home state. So I love Wisconsin. So I'm not going to put Wisconsin in the list because, I'm going to be biased. I'm going to say, hey, Wisconsin is the best. So that's why I'm going to keep Wisconsin aside. Other states that I've been to, if you ask me, like, what's your favorite? Which one is awesome? Hey, listen. Do we have friends from Texas here? We got Kay Cooper from Texas. Texas, absolutely. What an amazing state, Texas. Probably the best. Once again, keeping Wisconsin aside, Texas. And I'll also say in that list, Tennessee ranks pretty high. Tennessee is a wonderful place, wonderful people. A place, whether it's a good place or a bad place, you make that judgment depending on the people you encounter. So when you visit a state, the people you come across, the people you talk to, whether you're walking into a restaurant, whether you're walking into a gas station, whether you're just, talking to other people, you've moved to a new state, you're getting to know your neighbors, you judge a place by the people. Like, are the people nice to you? Are the people kind? Are they helpful? When you walk down the street and you see your neighbor, your new neighbor, is your neighbor greeting you, saying hello, waving at you? When you need some help, maybe you're stranded on the side of a highway, do you have kind people reaching out to you for help, reaching out to you to help you? There are so many factors. It's all about the people. So I know Texas, truly amazing state, always. Always. All right? Now, some of you from other states might say, oh, we're better than Texas. Well, you may be. But you know what? Texas is awesome. That's from my experience. Oh, we got our friend. Is that our friend Rachel? You changed your screen name, Rachel? Is that what you did? Our friend Rachel is here from Waukesha County, Wisconsin. So good to see you, Rachel. All right. So good to see you. All right. So, my friends, let me tell you, Texas, amazing. Tennessee, amazing. But sadly, Tennessee, Memphis at least, has a lot of problems. Memphis has a lot of crime. And that needs to be addressed. Memphis, Tennessee, according to that study that I was looking at, 2024 data ranked, Memphis, Tennessee ranked the worst in terms of total crime. If you take 100,000 residents, the total crime rate is 9,400.3, 9400.3 out of 100,000 residents. That is bad. So we got to take care of that. The Trump administration is going to be taking action to combat crime in Memphis, Tennessee. Because we know what an amazing state Tennessee is. We cannot allow this out of control situation in Memphis to continue. Something has to be done. Law and order must be restored in Memphis, Tennessee, and the Trump administration is going to take action. So you look at Memphis, Tennessee, worst in terms of total crime, really sad, actions being taken. Number 2, Portland, Oregon. And number 4 is Seattle. My friends, something has to be done to save Seattle. Seattle needs to be saved. We are Americans. We love the city in which we live. We love the state in which we live, but we love the entire country. I live in Madison, Wisconsin, but I care about Seattle. I care about Portland. I care about Chicago and New York and Miami and Dallas and Omaha. I care about whether it's a red state or a blue state, whether it's a red city or a blue city, doesn't matter. It's our country. I care about the safety and security across the United States. So when I see a city like Seattle suffering, I'm not going to say, oh, you know what, let's wash our hands. Let's not care about Seattle. Whatever happens, happens, you know. We're not going to go there. We're not going to worry about Seattle. I'm not going to say that. I deeply care about Seattle. I want Seattle to be a crime-free city where people can truly enjoy. The Pacific Northwest is amazing. I have not been to the Pacific Northwest, but I know it's amazing. I've been to other places, but not the Pacific Northwest. But I know it is so beautiful. So we can't just say, oh, you know what, let Seattle deal with its own problems. Why do we care? No, we do care. If Seattle is plagued with crimes, something needs to be done to address that. Something needs to be done. And, my friends, for those of you who do not know this, let me tell you, Seattle is a sanctuary city. A sanctuary city. Unbelievable, right? When you think of sanctuary city, you think of Chicago, you think of New York, you think of Los Angeles. But Seattle in the Pacific Northwest is a sanctuary city. In fact, when the United States Department of Justice, DOJ, we call that in short, when the DOJ published a list of sanctuary jurisdictions back in August of this year, guess what? Seattle, Washington was on that list. What a shame to be on that list as a sanctuary jurisdiction. This is extremely sad. Seattle on that list. I mean, unbelievable. And you know, the leaders of Seattle should really be ashamed. The people who govern in the city of Seattle, they should be ashamed that their city is on the list of sanctuary jurisdictions, and the list being published by the United States Department of Justice. By the way, it's not just Seattle, the city, that is a sanctuary jurisdiction. The entire state of Washington, the entire state is a sanctuary jurisdiction. The entire state is a sanctuary state. And in case you're not sure what I'm talking about, Tausif, what do you mean by sanctuary? Sanctuary for who? Sanctuary for what? What kind of a sanctuary are we talking about? Well, this is a sanctuary for illegal aliens. That's right. Seattle is a sanctuary jurisdiction. It's a sanctuary for illegal aliens. The entire state of Washington is a sanctuary for illegal aliens. And if you don't believe me, if you're watching this and you're thinking, hey, why should we trust you? I don't even know you. I'm watching your video for the first time. Who are you? Why should we listen to you? You know what? Go and look it up, the information. Go to the website of the United States Department of Justice. It's called DOJ in short, and you're going to find, you go back to August of 2025, you're going to find a list. I didn't make that list. DOJ published that list, and it revealed the serious problems in our country, that we have so many sanctuary jurisdictions. There should not be any sanctuary for illegal aliens in the United States of America. No sanctuary for illegals. And you look at that list and it's going to shock you. Like, how in the world do we have so many sanctuary jurisdictions in the United States? I am looking at it. Okay, so this was published on Tuesday, August 5th of 2025. It's a press release, and the title of the press release is Justice Department Publishes List of Sanctuary Jurisdictions. And it says, today the Justice Department published a list of states, cities, and counties identified as having policies, laws, or regulations that impede enforcement of federal immigration laws. That is what is going on, and the list is long. So this is what Attorney General Pam Bondi said. She said, I quote, sanctuary policies impede law enforcement and put American citizens at risk by design. The Department of Justice will continue bringing litigation against sanctuary jurisdictions and work closely with the Department of Homeland Security to eradicate these harmful policies around the country, end quote. Did you listen to what I said? Did you listen to me? You can scroll back and listen to it again. You can go to the website. You can go to justice.gov. You can look up the press releases and you'll find the information that I just mentioned. And there are so many states. It is shocking. California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Illinois, Minnesota. The list goes on. Washington is on there. Go look at the whole list, all right? There are counties. Cook County, Illinois is there on that list. San Francisco County, California is on that list. There are cities like Albuquerque, New Mexico, Berkeley, California, Chicago, Illinois, Denver, Colorado, Jersey City, New Jersey, Los Angeles, California, Portland, Oregon, Rochester, New York, Seattle, Washington. And there's more. So, you may be wondering, like, okay, we have been talking about Washington State. We're hearing Tausif talk about Washington State. Who's the governor of Washington State? It takes you less than 30 seconds to look up that information. Just go on the internet. Who's the governor? Well, the governor is Bob Ferguson. Heard that name? Bob Ferguson. Now, don't be shocked when I tell you that Governor Bob Ferguson is a Democrat. You might be saying, of course, Tausif. Of course, we're talking about Washington State. It's a blue state. Of course, they have a Democrat governor. This is the Democrat specialty, to protect illegal aliens. This is what the Democrats specialize in. They specialize in shielding illegal aliens, protect them from deportation. Now, let me tell you something which, if you're a freedom-loving American, you're not going to be happy. listening to this, what I'm about to tell you. When the governor of Washington State was notified that his state is on the list of sanctuary jurisdictions, you know what this guy did, Bob Ferguson, the Democrat governor? You know what he did? He kind of doubled down. He kind of doubled down. Rather than saying, oh, okay, we're going to fix this problem. Our state is not going to be a sanctuary for illegal aliens anymore. We're going to fix it. Thanks for pointing it out. Thank you to the DOJ for pointing it out. You know, we're going to take whatever actions are necessary to make sure that Washington State no longer is a sanctuary jurisdiction. Instead of saying that, the governor, Bob Ferguson, the so-called governor, he doubled down on it. He sent a letter to Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, and he wrote that, and I quote, Washington State is proud to be a welcoming community, end quote. Oh my God. What does he mean by welcoming community? He's saying Washington State is proud to be a welcoming community. What does that mean? Welcoming for who? Welcoming for illegal aliens? Welcoming for who? My friends, guess what? If Washington State is really a welcoming community, how about the state welcomes some National Guard troops if and when President Trump deploys them? How about that? Wouldn't that be a great idea? If Bob Ferguson is saying that, oh, Washington State is a welcoming community, well, if and when President Trump decides to deploy National Guard troops to Washington State, maybe the governor should welcome that, right? Would you agree with me? That's what he should do, right? Welcome the deployment of National Guard troops. Wouldn't that be great? Kay Cooper is saying National Guard needs to be there. I agree with you, Kay. National Guard needs to be there. Listen, let's do this. Let's play a little game here, okay? It's going to be fun because we want to understand public sentiment. There are many people watching this video. So let's do this. If you believe that National Guard should be deployed in Washington State, just write, I support National Guard. Just write in the live chat, write, I support National Guard. Let's see. I support National Guard. Kim Nelson is saying, I support National Guard. Thank you, Kim Nelson. Josh is saying, I support National Guard. Awesome. Kay Cooper is saying, I support National Guard. Waffle is saying, I support National Guard. Blue is saying, I support National Guard. This is great. Laura Floyd, our friend from Texas. We were talking about Texas. We love Texas. Laura Floyd is saying, I support National Guard. Frank is saying, I support National Guard. BP is saying, I support National Guard. Overwhelming support for National Guard. And it would be great if President Trump deploys National Guard in Seattle. Okay, I would love to see National Guard troops deployed in Washington State, in Seattle, and hopefully the Democrat governor, because he said, oh, it's a welcoming community, Washington State. Hopefully the governor, the Democrat governor of Washington State, would welcome that idea, since he calls Washington State a welcoming community. There is already anticipation that National Guard may be deployed to Seattle. That's why I'm doing this live stream. That's why I'm talking about this issue. I want to bring it to your attention for those who have not been keeping track of what's going on. Listen, my friends. National Guard may be deployed in Washington State. It may be happening. I am looking at some articles here. I'm not going to read all the news here, but there's already conversation that National Guard may be deployed. And that's going to be great. My friends, do you want to talk about the mayor of Seattle? We just talked about the governor of Washington State, but do you want to talk about the mayor of Seattle? Who knows the name of the mayor of Seattle? I'm talking about Mayor Bruce Harrell. Harrell? I can't pronounce his last name. Sorry. I guess it's Harrell. So Mayor Bruce signed 2 executive orders to oppose the possibility of troop deployment in the city of Seattle. The City of Seattle Office of the Mayor has a press release on the official website that says, Mayor Harrell signs executive orders to protect Seattle communities from unlawful federal troop deployment and unjust immigration enforcement actions. I mean, just see the wording. Just see the wording. The mayor, the Democrat mayor, I should say, of Seattle, used the word unlawful. He says unlawful federal troop deployment. And he used the word unjust. He's saying unjust immigration enforcement actions. These are both very wrong descriptions. Federal troop deployment is not unlawful. Immigration enforcement actions are not unjust. They are just. They are right. They are necessary. Federal troop deployment is also necessary in a place like Seattle, and it's not unlawful, it's lawful. President Trump can do that. He has the authority to solve problems, and he has the authority to deploy troops. My friends, I'm not going to go into the details of what the executive orders will do. I'm not going to read the executive orders from start to finish, okay? You can do that on your own time. You can read the list yourself on the internet. It's available. Executive orders from Mayor Bruce Harrell. But one of the items to note is that the city wants to develop an ordinance to ban the use of face masks by law enforcement, with limited exceptions, in the city of Seattle. I mean, this is significant. The city of Seattle wants to develop an ordinance to ban the use of face masks by law enforcement, with limited exceptions, in the city of Seattle. Also, the city wants to develop an ordinance that prohibits federal law enforcement from staging on or conducting immigration enforcement operations on city property. There's another point that states that the executive order will provide the Seattle Police Department clear guidance on how to respond to 911 calls where masked or unidentified individuals are detaining people in the city. Okay. So this is going to increase the temperature in the city of Seattle. And I'm not talking about the temperature, the atmospheric temperature. I'm not talking about like degrees Fahrenheit. I'm talking about the intensity of political activities that these Democrats want to do. They're trying to go against the Trump administration. They're trying to go against immigration enforcement actions. They are trying to go against the possibility of troop deployment. So what if the ICE agents in Seattle are wearing masks and detaining illegal aliens? What is the Seattle Police Department going to do in that case? If they are ICE agents in Seattle and they are wearing masks and they are catching criminal aliens, they're catching illegal aliens, what is the Seattle Police Department going to do in that case? Are they going to stop the ICE agents? Are they going to try to detain the ICE? I mean, what in the world are the Democrats in Seattle trying to do? The situation in Seattle is not very pleasant. This is a city, understand this, this is a city that is suffering because of crime. And on top of that, the city government is opposing federal law enforcement authorities. Unbelievable. Keep in mind, my friends, that this is all political. This is all political. The Seattle mayor is not your nonpartisan, impartial mayor. There are some mayors who are nonpartisan. They are independent. They're not Democrat or Republican. They're just independent. They focus on local government. They focus on city issues. They focus on how to keep the neighborhoods safe, how to keep the city clean. But the Seattle mayor is not your independent, nonpartisan mayor. This is a Democrat. This man endorsed Kamala Harris last year. This mayor, Bruce Harrell. Sorry, I can't pronounce his name. Mayor Bruce, let's call him. Mayor Bruce said last year that Kamala Harris is a proven leader. Really? Kamala Harris, a proven leader? What a joke. What a joke. Kamala Harris, a proven leader? Really? What in the world, man? What in the world? Don't go anywhere. Stay here, my friends. All right. This mayor, Mayor Bruce of Seattle, also said that Kamala Harris, and I quote, will be a champion for safe communities, affordable housing, climate action, good jobs, and a strong economy for all, end quote. Climate action. In endorsing Kamala Harris, Mayor Bruce of Seattle talks about climate action. He doesn't talk about public safety. I don't see public safety in this quote, but he talks about climate action. I looked up the post, the social media post on Mayor Bruce's Facebook page. This is a post from July of 2024. The mayor has a photo with Kamala Harris, And then in his post, he wrote all this, that Kamala Harris will be a champion for safe communities, affordable housing, climate action, good jobs, and a strong economy for all. But you know what? This post does not mention public safety. He talks about climate action, but not about public safety. No wonder Seattle is in such a crisis. No wonder that Seattle, as I said, is being crushed under the burden of lawlessness. We know what the priorities the Democrats have. And the Democrats' list of priorities does not include more funding for police. The Democrats don't care about more funding for police. They don't prioritize the recruitment of law enforcement officers. The Democrats do not care about fair and impartial judges. The Democrats don't care about fair and impartial district attorneys. If you are looking for leaders who support more funding for police, who support the recruitment and proper training of law enforcement officers, leaders who support having, honest and fair district attorneys, leaders who understand the importance of having fair judges, honest and fair judges who are not going to be political, then you're looking for Republican leaders, you're looking for conservative leaders. They are the ones who prioritize fair judges and impartial district attorneys, fair district attorneys, honest district attorneys. They care about the recruitment and training of law enforcement officers and more funding for police. But for the Democrats, it's all about partisanship. It's all partisan politics. By the way, do you know who represents Seattle in Congress? We've been talking about the state folks and the city folks. We talked about the mayor, Bruce. We talked about Governor Bob Ferguson. Now let's talk about Congress. Who represents Seattle in the United States House of Representatives? Do you know who? Pramila Jayapal. Have you heard that name, Pramila Jayapal? Congresswoman Jayapal? If you have not, you may want to look up her details on the internet. You may want to look up her policy positions. This is a left-wing congresswoman, Pramila Jayapal, and she represents most of Seattle. You can look at the congressional map. Congresswoman Jayapal, Democrat. No wonder it's a left-wing city. And she's one of the loudest voices in Congress against President Trump. That's right. You don't trust me? Why don't you go and look up Pramila Jayapal's social media posts? She's one of the loudest voices in the United States House of Representatives, and she's always saying anti-Trump things. If you go to Pramila Jayapal's X page right now, formerly known as Twitter, now X, you go and look at her X page right now and you keep scrolling, you're going to see anti-Trump posts. So Seattle is full of Democrats who will oppose the Trump administration's immigration enforcement actions. But in the process, who suffers? Who suffers? The American people. The hardworking people of Seattle. Because of all the left-wing politicians and their politics, because these Democrats prioritize sanctuary jurisdiction rather than law enforcement, the American people and the legal immigrants, those who are here legally, they suffer. And the same is true for any city. When Democrats support illegal immigration, when the Democrats want to protect illegal immigrants, when the Democrats shield illegal immigrants from deportation, when illegal immigrants steal American jobs, who suffers in the process? Law-abiding American citizens and legal immigrants. They are the ones who suffer. It's the same theme. Sanctuary policies must come to an end, my friends. Sanctuary policies must come to an end. These left-wing mayors must start respecting ICE. Local police departments must start cooperating with ICE. They must welcome National Guard troops if President Trump decides to send National Guard troops. My friends, there's a lot going on in the country, and it is always my goal to bring to you the latest information and to bring to you my analysis, to share with you my thoughts about local, state, national issues, international issues, domestic policies, international topics, social and political, both domestic and international. And I always encourage you to participate in the live chat window so that you can share your thoughts as well. Whether you agree with me or you don't, it's important that we treat each other with respect. And I treat people with respect. That's always what I do. That is what I learned, and that is what I follow. And I hope you're going to do the same. If you don't agree with my viewpoints, that's fine. But make sure that you're writing your comments in a respectful manner. It is very important. I know it's easy to engage in name calling. It's easy to write something that's insulting. If you want to insult me, if you want to criticize my face, how I talk, how I look, my viewpoints, if you want to make fun of me, you can do that all day. You're free to do that. Do it. But it doesn't help. It doesn't help improve the dialogue. It's important to have intellectual conversation. Ask questions. Hear my viewpoints. Share your viewpoints. You don't have to agree with me. But insulting and name calling, that's not going to help. If you're trying to convince someone, you can't insult that person. You can't be calling that person by strange names. No. You have to be humble. You have to be firm in your principles. No one's saying that you're going to walk away from your principles or your values or things that you believe. That's fine. But you have to treat people with respect. That's what we do. That's what makes this country great. And trust me, I talk with a lot of people with a wide variety of political viewpoints. We sit down and we talk. We exchange information. We listen to each other's viewpoints. We treat each other with respect. That's what I do when I'm having a conversation, and I hope that you're going to do that as well. My friends, I'm going to pause here for a little bit. I'm going to pause here. I've been talking for a while. I'm not leaving. I'm not ending the live stream. I'm just pausing here for a little bit. My friends, at this point, I'd say that anyone who's here for the first time, please subscribe. Okay? Subscribe to stay connected. Subscribe to stay connected, my friends. Someone's asking me, you legal, bro? I'm a US citizen. Thank you for your question. See, you can ask that question. Thank you for your question. I'm a US citizen. And I live in Madison, Wisconsin. US citizen, American citizen. I'm a proud American. And it is always my goal as an individual, each and every day, to do my part, to do whatever I can do to make America great again. To make America great again and greater than ever before. Thank you, my friends, for all your support. Thank you so very much. MAGA, absolutely. Tangerine, good to see you. Our friend Tangerine is here. Tangerine says, hello, Tassif. Tangerine, thank you for being here. Thank you. Frank, good to see you. K. Cooper, always great to see K. Cooper. And K. Cooper has been here, Frank, since the beginning of this live stream today. Tangerine, thanks for being here. There are others here. Someone's asking, what's your ethnicity? Well, I was born and raised in Bangladesh, in a city called Dhaka, okay? The country is Bangladesh. The capital city is Dhaka. So that's where I was born and raised. And I came to the United States as a legal immigrant. And I became a naturalized US citizen. In fact, on my YouTube channel, you're going to find a video of my naturalization ceremony, which I've shared with my friends before. But for the new folks here, if you're watching this for the first time, I just want to draw your attention. You can watch that video. You can just search it on my channel here. Okay, naturalization ceremony, citizenship ceremony. So I'm a proud American. And I voted for Donald J. Trump in 2016. I voted for Donald J. Trump in 2020. I voted for Donald J. Trump in 2024. And I will never forget 2024 election night. I was in Waukesha County, actually, for election night party. Okay, our friend Rachel here is from Waukesha County. So she knows which place I'm talking about because Rachel is from Waukesha County. Lives in Waukesha County now, right, Rachel? You're still there in Waukesha. So I was at a very nice hotel, a nice event venue in Waukesha for election night party. And my friends, let me tell you, when the news came that Wisconsin has chosen Donald J. Trump, and Donald J. Trump, he crossed that 270 electoral college vote threshold. It was so amazing. In fact, on this channel, if you scroll back, you go back to November of 2024, you're going to find my live streams. I've done some live streams from the event venue where we were having the election night party. We call it the victory party because, we knew we were going to be victorious and we won. So I've done a few different live streams from election night. Watch it. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. All right, let's see. My friends, please subscribe if you haven't done so already, all right? Subscribe, my friends, subscribe. 26 more subscribers, and we're going to get to 13,900. Do you know that? Can you help me get there? I hope you can. All right. All right. Well, lots of comments coming in. So I believe that it is time to deploy National Guard troops in Seattle. I really believe that. And I hope that happens. I really hope that happens. National Guard troops in Seattle. And we need to fight crime in Seattle. And I think the deployment of National Guard troops is a necessary step. Okay. All right. I'm trying to read the comments. There are some really unkind comments here. That's all right. You know what? Nothing's going to stop me. I'm going to continue telling the truth. So if there are some unkind comments, that's all right. All right. Rudy is saying Texas here. Awesome. Hey, listen, let's do, because I see a lot of new names, let's do a real quick survey. Write the name of the state that you're from, where you're watching from. Just the state. Write the name of the state where you're watching from, okay? And if you're watching from outside the US, just write the name of the country. So I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna say Wisconsin. All right. So we got Maine, we got Wisconsin. I'm from Wisconsin. We got California. We got Texas, K. Cooper. We got Wisconsin. We got California, Michigan. Rachel from Waukesha, Wisconsin. We got South Carolina. AC Cruz, our friend from Arizona. That's great. We love Arizona. And you know what? In the not so distant future, we may have, it might take a while. Maybe, we're going to try our best. We're going to turn Arizona red. We're going to elect statewide Republicans in Arizona soon. I will talk more about that in the near future. We got a viewer from Georgia. We got Tangerine from Philippines. Beautiful country. Okay. Anyone else? You want to write where you're from? No? Frank's from Florida. Let me make a little change here. Hold on a second. It's going to be a lot of fun. Just hold on a second here. Did you see what I just did? Did you see what I just did? I turned on subscriber only mode. Haha. Okay. I mean, the trolls can still comment if they subscribe. All they have to do is subscribe. And then the trolls can comment. How about that? Well, the trolls can comment. They just have to subscribe. Just subscribe, that's it. See, Rachel just said, subscribe and come back, trolls. Subscribe, come back. We want you back. We want the trolls back. But they gotta subscribe. Subscribe and come back. We're going to give it a minute and see if the trolls come back. Because they subscribe, the threshold is they have to wait for a minute before they can comment. We are waiting. TikTok. Exactly. TikTok. We're waiting. That's a lot of fun. Hey, listen, to be honest with you, I try not to do the subscriber only mode because it's always my goal to allow as many people as possible to comment. You know, I want people to, even if somebody doesn't want to subscribe, I want them to still be able to comment. But you know what? If they are like being so disruptive, as you saw today, a lot of the trolls were so disruptive, okay, used some horrible language. You know, at that point, I am left with no choice. I have to, you know, put it in subscriber only mode. Okay, I just have to do it. So, yeah. By the way, you know what? Even those who are insulting me, I pray for you. I pray for you. I hope that God will soften your heart and maybe you'll have more kindness and more wisdom, and you'll maybe in the near future you'll treat people with respect. I really pray for those who are here to just insult me. I pray for you. Okay. All right. Okay, somebody's saying, does he think the unsubscribe button doesn't exist? Listen, I understand very well that the unsubscribe button does exist, but you see what I'm doing here? By putting this in subscriber only mode, I'm compelling you to subscribe. If you want to comment and insult me, you got to subscribe. And then that's not the end of it. And if you want to not give me a subscription, you have to click a button to unsubscribe. So I'm making you go through steps. I'm making you go through steps. You're going through steps. And you are eager enough to continue trolling that you're willing to subscribe, and then you're forcing yourself to unsubscribe. So who's the winner here? Who is the winner here? You could just leave and not watch my channel, but my channel is attractive enough that even to insult me, you're willing to subscribe and then unsubscribe. Why go through all that step? You could just close the window and just not do anything, right? All right. Okay. This is so great. But you know what? I really hope, even those who have insulted me today, I really hope that you stay connected. I mean, no humor, no joke. I'm being very, very serious. I hope that you stay connected. You know, it's always good to listen to different viewpoints. And I do that. I listen to conservative talk show hosts. I listen to liberal talk show hosts. I switch different channels when I'm watching TV because I want to listen to the conservative viewpoints, the liberal viewpoints, because that's how you stay informed. And so, even if you don't agree with me, I think you'll be better off listening to my viewpoints. And at the end of the day, you might say, okay, I've listened to Tassif. I don't agree with anything he says, but at least now you know my viewpoints. You know the conservative side. Okay? And even among conservatives, not all conservatives agree with each other. Not all liberals agree with each other. So the diversity of thoughts is wider. It's bigger than you can imagine. So even if you don't agree with me, you're probably better off listening to me. And then at the end of the day, you could say, I don't agree with Tassif. That's fine. My friends, really, God has sent us to this world. Whatever God you believe in, whatever your religion, whatever faith you follow, we're all created by the same God. I think we can agree on that. God has created us to seek knowledge, not to agree with what everyone's saying. Disagreement is part of the dialogue, but we have to be kind. We have to be nice. Remember, we are all human beings. We may have different skin color. We may look different. We may have different facial features. The color of our eyes may be different. The color of our hair may be different, but we're all created by the same God. We're all human beings of flesh and blood. And just based on that, we should be able to treat each other with respect. Be humble. Treat each other with respect. Okay, that's all I'm saying. So anyway, I've talked enough. If you agree with me, great. If you don't, great. Share with me your viewpoints. Okay. Before I conclude this, I'm gonna write my email address, tassif@tassifanam.net. Please send me an email if you want to. If you want to go to my website, it's tassifanam.net. You will find my biography. You'll find a list of my published opinions. You'll find information about my published books. You'll find information about my blog posts. So you'll find all that, tassifanam.net. Just go and take a look at that. So with that, my friends, I'm going to end this live stream here. Thank you so very much for tuning in. We discussed some very serious issues, but it's, you know what? It's always a pleasure to see people willing to listen. Okay. People willing to listen. Thousands of people have tuned in tonight for this live stream. Thousands of people. Not everyone stays the whole duration. Some people stay for a minute. Some stay for half hours. Some stay for full hours. Some stay for the entire duration, and everything in between. So, my friends, as Kay Cooper is writing, Kay Cooper's grandma always said, right hand and left hand are opposite, but one hand washes the other. Unity. What a beautiful message, Kay Cooper, our friend Kay from Texas. What a beautiful message. Thank you so much, Kay, for sharing that. Thank you so very much. My friends, I hope you all have a great night. I hope you stay subscribed. Please share the video. Please like the video if you have not done so already. And I'm going to be back again very soon with more videos and live streams. So thank you so very much. And together, my friends, we will make America great again. Thank you. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Rudy, Frank, Kay, Teresa Ross, Laura Floyd, and others. Thank you so very much. We'll see you soon. Thanks. Freshly, thank you, Freshly. Our friend Jake from New York. Thank you for being here. Thank you.